Now this video has been ages in the making. It took a surprisingly long and disturbing time to track down all them waifus, but after having to scrub my search history several times, it's finally happening. We're building an all-ish waifu gaming system. Very excited. Now, before we start building the system, I do want to point out that not much of this stuff actually matches, so I think this is going to be quite a wild-looking gaming system. I'm really excited to see the end result. So let's get started. Now, I'm starting off with the motherboard, which is quite a nice-looking board from Asus. It is a ROG Strix B760G Gaming Wi-Fi D4. That edition. I'm not sure what that says, but there is a lady standing next to a motherboard, and the motherboard even has a little bit of waifu accenting going on, which makes it very much a waifu motherboard. When you open the box, you're immediately greeted by some Asus lady art. I don't know why, but I often see waifus with ears. Does that make it a better waifu? I don't know. Whoa, you get so much accessories with it. Now this is one of the things that I unironically quite like about the waifu stuff, is that somebody put a lot of care and attention into making a whole bunch of art for the packaging of this motherboard, right? So you have these stickers that you get with it, and then here is a warranty card that some talented person made, and then look at the manual for this motherboard. This is crazy. I've got the picture of the lady on the front, but when you open it up, there's another lady picture there that, again, there's a lot of care put into this design. And then, when you get to the actual instructions, look at that! There's like ladies shouting things in Chinese at you about how to put the CPU in, and somebody with talent put a lot of time and effort into that. There's even a flying lady on the anti-static bag. Oh, look at that beast. Oh, we also have a pretty solid rear I/O for a motherboard with some more characters adorning it. That's pretty nice to see. Even the socket cover has a little character on it. That's cool. And there's like a silhouette of the motherboard lady. I like that a lot. Very good idea. Now I'm using a 12600K, which unfortunately does not have ears, because that's not a thing that exists. It's just a normal CPU, but we don't have to see it, so it's fine. The RAM, on the other hand, does involve ears because it matches the motherboard. I think that may in fact be the same lady. Ooh, look at that. Now this RAM kit not only has a kawaii little neko waifu on it powering down some watermelon, it's also real fast at 6400 megahertz. Wait a minute. Oh, it's a DDR4 motherboard. Come on!
A few moments later.
Now, outrage aside, luckily I came prepared with a DDR4 kit. Look at that, it's even still matching. I bought this like a year ago for this build, and then when this motherboard showed up, I was like, oh, wait a minute, it's gonna be DDR5. So then waited another like month for that kit to show up. But we still have this one, so we're good. Whew, safe. They even look basically identical to the DDR5 one. Ooh, that looks pretty nice. Now when it comes to the CPU cooler, for the life of me, I couldn't find one with pictures of anatomically precarious woman plastered all over it. But then I had an idea. You see, these NZXT coolers let you make like a photo happen on the AIO block, which means I can add the greatest waifu of all time to this cooler, which would still technically make it a waifu cooler. Now in terms of case, I'm using the Asus Nezuko-chan case that's been on the channel before, and as far as I understand it, I don't think Nezuko-chan is technically a waifu, but I'm not a waifuologist, so I don't know, maybe she is, let me know in the comment section down below. But either way, I didn't want to have to buy another exorbitantly expensive anime case. I'm already unhappy about owning this one. And there is our case in all its majesty, which does have a couple of small issues. The first one is that that's an ATX case and the motherboard is MATX, so we're gonna have some slight girth compatibility issues, or like lack of girth, I guess? And then what was the other issue? I can't remember. I guess we'll figure it out soon enough. Now with the power supply, there is legitimately a couple of problems. The first one is that this is meant to be an Asus Gundam power supply. And even by my pretty loose definition of what a waifu is, I'm pretty sure this big-ass robot doesn't count as one. But then I thought, I shouldn't discriminate. I'm sure somebody out there gets off on these big-ass robots, so it means that it's a waifu to someone, right? The second problem is potentially bigger. I don't think this is the correct power supply. It does say on the shipping manifest that it's supposed to be a Gundam edition, but this doesn't mention Gundam anywhere, so I think they sent the wrong one. Got a baggie of stuff? Whoa, no way. I think these are Republic of Gamers fridge magnets. Oh, I just dropped a bunch of stuff. This is like a little enamel fridge magnet, so you can let everybody know the moment they come into your kitchen that you're a massive nerd. I don't know. Oh, never mind. They attach to the power supply, which would make more sense to me than a fridge magnet. Let's see. Yeah, no, that I was sent the wrong power supply. This is very much not a Gundam edition power supply, which I think means, depending on the price difference, I was scammed? Either way, this is a majestic power supply. My word, it's really pretty. Now we need to put the fake waifu power supply in here. I mean, I can't be that mad. I think this is a very good power supply. Either way, like it's not like I got a Wish power supply instead, you know? Now I am curious how well the radiator is gonna fit in the top. It's not gonna fit in the top. That's a bit of a problem because if I put it in the front, I'm pretty sure the graphics card doesn't fit. It like super doesn't fit. Nezuko-chan isn't a very good case. Okay, this is gonna get ghetto pretty quickly, but I have a solution. I think that fits. Maybe, let's see on the other side. Okay, that doesn't look super promising, but let's try screw it down anyway and see what happens. Now the radiator mounting situation hasn't gone very well, and I don't just mean in terms of the fan we're missing on our 240mm radiator, but because the motherboard's heatsink is too tall, I've had to kind of wedge the radiator in there, and I've only been able to attach these two screws. So, yeah, it's not mounted very well. All of my previous hatred for this case has very much come flooding back. I really don't like Nezuko-chan very much, but I do think it has very much met the minimum criteria of what I would consider mounted. So, honestly, it's gone better than expected. When the case is upright, the radiator stays in place. So see, mounted. And then all that was left to do was some cable management before we brought out the most exciting component of all of it. And then finally, the centerpiece of our build. Yeston's spectacular RX 7800 XT Sakura Edition. Whoa, it barely fits. Whoa, even without the radiator, it barely fits in Nezuko-chan. I am gonna see if I can add some intake fans on the other side of this mount, but if not, we may have to bareback it. Now, before we admire our creation, we do have to see if it actually works, which I haven't tested like half the components, so it could not. That's not a good sign, though. Oh no, that could just be the front I/O. The power button cable pulled out. Oh. Did I get it? I did! I have magic hands, apparently. Wow, I am very happy with how easily that happened. And then all that was left to do before we ogled the Majesty was add a bank of fans to the front, install windows, and adorn our cooler with a picture of the greatest waifu of all time, Miss Piggy. Whoa, straight off the bat, the waifu's running cold as ice. Look at those temperatures. That is the most Battlefield 5 spawn ever. And at 1440p ultra settings, it's zooming in Battlefield 5. Damn. I mean, it does stutter a decent amount, but in all fairness, I did just load in, and this is DX12, which is quite stuttery. So I'm gonna give it a minute, see where the temperatures go, and if the stutters go away. Also, the temperatures are climbing. Our AIO is gonna warm up slowly. I'm curious to see how it's gonna handle this long term, considering we only have one fan on it. Okay, so I've been playing for a while, and the graphics card's temperatures are still immaculate. Despite the 250 to 60 watts of power draw, it's very comfortably been sitting at 51 degrees Celsius, which is great. The CPU, on the other hand, has creeped up a little bit, but it's still below 70 degrees Celsius, and that is with just a single fan on it, so it's better than I was expecting it to do, quite frankly. So many people. Damn. But yeah, very, very good performance here. But let's try a more demanding game. Oh damn, the waifu a beast. At 1440p high settings, with Cyberpunk, we're getting over 100 frames per second, which only dips down into the 80s when we bump up the settings to ultra, which makes me think, what's ray tracing gonna do? And with low ray tracing settings, we've basically not lost any frame rate and the game looks awesome. Ow! That's rude, someone just ran me down. And then finally, some The Last of Us action here running at 1440p ultra settings, and the waifu's giving us about 80 frames per second. And this is some smooth 80 frames per second, damn. It's running very well. This system is a real beast. And with that highly impressive result, you may be thinking to yourself, wow, I also want a parts bin selection of waifu parts to build a PC out of. Which would be fine, aside from it being pretty difficult to find all of this stuff. There's also a huge price premium attached to it, and worst of all, you then have to explain to people why you actually own this stuff. Which brings me to the end of the video. Thank you very much for watching, subscribe for more of whatever the content is that I make, and until the next video, bye bye.